Okay, hi Karen. I'm going to do the photo merge for you to bring. I'm going to use three examples, three images that I've got prepared um, into one image, and I'm going to use Photoshop. Now I've prepared three images. I'm doing it on a Mac. I don't know if you've got a Mac or not. The images I've got are Karen Merge Photo Demo 3, 2, and 1. So one thing you need to be aware of when you're doing photo merges and you're bringing photos in, you've got to know the biggest size of the image that you need, because if you've got an image that's 1200 pixels wide and another one that's 1200 pixels wide, then if you need to merge them in, if you're going to create a new image, it needs to be at least 2400 pixels wide, but you may not know the size of the file. So what I'll do here is I will create a new file in Photoshop, file new, and I'll create it 2500 by 2500 pixels in width. So you could create it 3500 if you want, and then you could crop at the end, and that's what I'm going to do in case you don't know the size of the images you're going to bring in. So I'll click on OK, and now I've got a blank canvas, and you can see down here, if you use Elements or Photoshop, or I think the GIMP, the free application, you get to use layers, and this is the background layer. And all I'm going to do now, this will be, you can see it's only 25% of the view, this will be 2500 pixels wide by 2500 pixels high. So I will now bring each of those three images in, and you can say File, Open. I'm going to navigate to where those pictures are. They're in my Pictures Temp folder, so I'll bring in number 1, click on Open, and there's the one of Ollie. Now what I've got here, you can see there's the original picture, and there's the one it's just opened. Now as long as I've got the selection tool selected, I'm going to simply click with the left hand button anywhere on that picture and drag the mouse up until it goes over the original picture, the original blank canvas, that turns white, bring it back down and let it go. I don't want to see that again. And there's the image that's just been brought in. You can see as layer 1 on the background. I'm going to do the same thing, File, Open, this time Photo Demo 2. There's Heather looking like the Mad Hatter at a recent photo shoot. I'm going to do the same thing, click and drag with the left hand button from this image over to layer 1 and position it where I want. Let's just say about by there. You'll notice when you're using Photoshop it actually does some nice snap to grid for you. That's an option that I've got turned on. And then I'm going to do the same thing, File, Open, image number 3. This one's a landscape picture of the top of Snowdon. Same thing, click and drag that over onto my initial layer and then let it go and then reposition it wherever I want. So you can position these wherever you want. You can move them around and you can do what you want with them. I'm going to leave it about by there. I could resize it if you like. I could make it a bit more panoramic so it fits, and I click on the tick box up there. So there we go. Now I've got three images that I've brought in that are sitting on the background. So there is my background. There's my layer 1, which is the image of Ollie. I can turn that one on and off by clicking the eye there. The same thing for Heather as the Mad Hatter, and the same thing for the panorama I've got of the top of Snowdon. But what I want to do now is actually, you can save that as a file, and you can keep all the original images in it if you want to. But because I want to crop, I don't want all this white stuff around the corner here, I'm going to actually what's called flatten the image by clicking on Layer and scrolling down to Flatten Image. That now gets rid of all the layers and merges them as one layer. They're now not selectable or movable. So only do that as a last, one of the last items you want to do. I'm now going to get rid of this white stuff around the outside because I don't want it. I'm going to select the Crop tool, and I'm simply going to drag with the left button and position it. I'll leave a little bit of a white frame around the outside. That's asking me, is that okay? I'll click tick. And there you go, three images merged onto one. All I need to do now is File, Save, however you want it saved. I'll save that on my desktop and I'll call it Karen, and I'll click Save. And that's done. Now if I go back to my desktop on a blank screen on my Mac, you can see there's Karen with one image that's been created from a composite of three images. And you can send that to wherever you want to be printed, or do whatever you want with it. So there you go. Hope that's alright, Karen. Give me a shout if you need anything else. Ta-da!